there are various planning applications, and they are outline planning, full planning, permitted development, and prior approvals. Within those applications there are variations. So we might be looking at listed building consent within the planning application. And we might be looking at a planning application that is within a conservation area. The outline planning application doesn't necessarily have to include lots of detailed information. That information can be reserved for a later date. The idea of the outline planning approval is that it gives the approval for a building to go on a particular site in a particular place. The actual size and dimensions of that building are not necessarily fixed. It has its uses, and it's generally used for development work where the full design is not required at this stage. The full planning application is much more detailed, and depending on the scenario, as I've mentioned, whether it's listed building consent, whether it's in a conservation area, whether there's demolition involved, they will all play a part in the kind of information that we'll have to provide for that application. But that's not a problem. We have the skills and the ability to provide all those documents. Sometimes there's third-party documents required, reports that Walkergore don't necessarily provide, but we will be able to bring those third-party specialists to the table in order to provide the reports required. And those reports will be along the lines of the ecology report, the heritage impact statement, the flood report, and sometimes ground contamination as well. But Walkergore will organise all of those processes for you, and they will all become part of the application package that we put forward to the local authority. Permitted development is a complicated process. There are lots of little areas that can trip you up. So it's not always a given that we will not need planning permission to create extensions and outbuildings, especially on domestic buildings. It needs checking. Walkergore have the experience to check those scenarios, and we can go through the regulations and advise whether the permitted development is appropriate for your project. The prior notice application is something where we will get some paperwork, some written paperwork from the local authority that the application is, one, either lawful, two, also fits within the realms of permitted development that I was just talking about. It allows you to have a piece of paper that you can put in your legal documents to prove that the local authority have agreed that it is either permitted and or it is lawful, but without a full approval. If there's anything that you need help with in terms of planning, please give us a ring and we can help.